All right, I think we're live. Let me just go ahead and double check some stuff here. Thank you guys for being on this week's live coaching call. So if you guys can hear me and see my screen, let me know and we can go ahead and get this call started. But again, everybody, thank you so much for being on this call. This week, we're going to talk about offline marketing and how that's going and how to tie that into your current online marketing with Investor Carrot. So, and Agent Carrot. So, if you're an agent, awesome to have you on this call as well. So, this call is just not about investors, but overall members of the Carrot community. And it's pretty cool to see more agents coming on these calls. So, if you're an agent, I'm going to just kind of give you fair warning. I'm so used to investor talk because I'm an investor myself. But everything that we talk about is going to always apply to both agents and investors. So the principles are pretty much the same. And that's the cool thing with Investor Care, guys. What I teach you guys is really to help you guys be a better marketer, not just how to use Carrot. Obviously, that's the objective, right? But also it's about how to help you be a better marketer. I'm really tired of the marketing template that we tend to kind of get in tune with, which again, there's nothing wrong with having a template. We talk about here at Carrot not needing to reinvent the wheel, but at the same time, as a marketer, we always have to be on our toes. We always have to be evaluating. We always have to be thinking. So that's the objective. So awesome. Daniel, Rob, thank you for letting me know you guys can hear and see my screen. So to me, that is good enough. And actually, let me get my coffee, guys. Bear with me. I'm still the whole hurricane thing is still causing some havoc on my personal life, just some different stuff. So I've been kind of somewhat been displaced still a little bit, but so thank you for bearing with me. That's why I haven't really been in the office lately. So, but anyways, let's go ahead and get call. This call started. Dang. Daniel, yes, I got your message too on Instagram. If you got some time later on today, let's go ahead and make sure that we hop on a call. So would love to do that for you, man. Appreciate you as well. All right, let me just go ahead and get the presentation going. And all right, so again, this week, all right. Cool. All right. Let's go ahead and again, this call is going to be how to utilize your website if the majority of your marketing is offline. So hopefully you guys will get some small nuggets and implement. Right. So anyways, all right, some housekeeping stuff before we get started. The newest blog post, and actually didn't know it was a Carrot Cast. To be honest with you, this just got released just today, I believe. So the cool thing about this story is that most people, I always say, don't get into business with your best friend or family members because there's a lot of things that can, it's not worth risking all of that because, just because of the ups and downs of business and what it can possibly, it can cause a strain on your relationships and stuff. But one thing that's cool about Max and Tony is that they grew up best friends. And when we're up in Carrot Camp, this is when we actually taped or recorded that session. And so I need to listen to it, but it's just really cool to see a story that actually tells how it does work to work with your best friend. It does work to work with your family member. It does work to work with your spouse. It's just really cool to hear the dynamic that they have working for them and helping them crush helping them crush it in their business, in their market. So got a chance to check out Max's event about 2 weekends ago. And it was just, it was a great time. So check out that story with Max and Tony, the struggles, lessons, failures, and keys that led to a multi-million-dollar real estate business. So that's a pretty cool, that was a really, really, really cool. So check that out. Over on our blog posts, 5 things you probably don't know about Carrot's advanced marketer plan. So most of you are on the Content Pro at the very least. So if you've been considering upgrading, make sure that you check out that most recent blog post. might be insightful for you as well. And then also another recent Carrot Cast, breaking through ceilings in your business. Trevor shares his formula and really shares a lot about his own story. So make sure that you check it out. If you thought you knew Trevor, you probably don't. That's so check out that Carrot Cast. I have to say that I always hear that a lot. So, but no, Trevor is as transparent as anyone gets, and that's one of the things that makes Trevor who he is. It's an honor and privilege to be able to work with him, and just a very just a great person overall in business and personal life. Who you see, guys, in the public eye is just who he is. I got a chance to spend spending time, just one of the great guys, and he sincerely cares for each and every Carrot member's success. So, and I see it behind the scenes each and every day. So it's been a privilege for me. So check that. Again, these are all the new content out this week. So if you're into content, new stuff, make sure that you're checking that out. And of course, with the Carrot Cast, please let us know. Leave us a feedback. Give us your best ratings on the with iTunes, all that good stuff. So I appreciate any feedback that you guys have. All right, weekly dose of awesomeness. This came through one of the YouTube videos that we do quite often here at Carrot, and this really talks about just what we talked about there with Trevor. I'm not Trevor, Max and Rob. Tony, T-Rob is what we call him, T-Rob. You guys can also make sure you guys are following them on Instagram. They're always giving a lot of great content, free stuff too. So this business is about being successful more than just online marketing, guys. So you want to be following people like Daniel. He's on Instagram. Max, T-Rob, or what we call Tony. Those are awesome. Some great people to follow. And if you guys are on Instagram, I want you guys share your Instagram. I'm gonna I'll share it so you guys are all following each other. Let's do that. I don't think I've done that before, but make sure that you guys share your Instagram. I don't know, you call it handle or name or whatever. Let's start following each other and be each one support. So it's all about accountability, and that's one of the cool things I think many of us lack is accountability. So, anyways, kind of getting away from the weekly dose of awesomeness. This is an awesomely, I think that's the word, inspiring and insightful interview. This true real life story has so much depth and weight. Yes, share your failures as much as your success. Build business with longtime friends, minus the ego. Don't be afraid of partnerships in business, and always have the courage to choose partners that disagree out of love and concern. So many takeaways. I'm assuming it said here for both life and business partnerships. So that came from Peter, which came through YouTube, which I believe is through the Carrot Cast channel. So, all right, sweet. Also, just saw a live coaching call 221. It was awesome. I was implementing as I was watching the rerun. Please give my thanks to Adrian. I'm very happy. I decided to switch from Fortune Builders niche builder to Carrot. I should have done it months ago. Awesome. And that comes from Jose. There's Jose Valentikitsa. Awesome. Didn't know that was. I honestly didn't know that was going to be in there, guys. So usually we don't have two of the weekly dose of awesomeness, but looks like Joaquin did that. So appreciate that. But cool. Thank you so much, Jose, for that feedback as well. So, all right. So as I mentioned just a moment ago, one of the news blog posts is about advanced marketers. So if you guys are not on the advanced marketers, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but check out that blog post. If you can been kind of on the fence, or maybe you don't really know the difference between what you have now and what the advanced marketers is, that blog post would be awesome for you to check out, and it gives you access to the new Hemlock design. So if you're looking to really differentiate from your competition in your market, or you just like that fresh look, but yet still have the integrity, the framework of what makes Carrot in terms of performance, it's check it out. That's all I'm going to say. All right. So your coach for today, if this is your first call, my name is Adrian Nez, wholesaler, investor. I'm more of a cash flow guy. I'm not really a rehabber. but if I got a good deal, would do one. But my whole thing is online lead generation. I love SEO. I love PPC. I love online marketing. I love psychology marketing, which I share all here. It's something that I've been doing, and it's been the driving force for my own wholesale business in different markets for a couple of years, or actually it's been more than a couple of years, but I just love it. And so my job really here at Carrot is to help you really supersede what I've been able to do. There's a lot of smart people on this call. My job is just kind of give you some good insight and encourage you to take action, because my hope for you is that you do 10 times more than I ever did. Okay, so but that's who I am. So if this is your first time on this is your first time on a coaching call, please let me know. Let me know your name, where you're hopping on the call from, and we just want to say welcome. And again, also, guys, share your Instagram name, and I want to share it with everybody. So you guys are all following each other. Partner up. Get some accountability partners in place. If you guys are on this call, and maybe that's one of the things that just you have a hard time. You're jumping on these calls every week, but maybe you're just not implementing what we talk about. Maybe sign for an accountability partner, and that's one way that you can do that. Connect through social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, however that is. But be more than happy to share you guys' Instagram accounts. But make sure also you're following me and Trevor on there, and also Carrot. Follow Carrot as well, and don't. And if you are sharing anything on Instagram, make sure that you hashtag Carrot, Investor Carrot, and Agent Carrot as well. So we appreciate that. Sweet. All right. So what is offline marketing? I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to check out who is on this call. So offline marketing strategies utilizes, I'm just going to kind of read it in my own words. Offline marketing utilizes offline channels, media channels, but channels to create awareness of companies' product and services. These campaigns can include radio and print advertising, including billboard signs, pamphlets, telemarketing, and television ads. So that's kind of the formal definition of offline marketing. But in the traditional sense of real estate investing, or if you want to say wholesaling, really that is bandit signs, direct mail, driving for dollars, flyers, door hangers, cold calling. Okay. So those are going to be traditionally what we refer to as offline marketing, but in the professional, formal definition, it's really offline media channels to create awareness of a company's product and services. Okay, so just want to introduce that, but let's do this first. Kind of want to break the ice. I want to see who is all on this call. Cool. So we got Daniel. Sweet. So Daniel is, you guys can follow Daniel at Daniel. Dude, my pronunciation is always terrible, but let me have you spell Daniel's name is Daniel, Daniel, then Digiacomo. You got the so here's the guy thing is I just learned I'm always killing words anyways, but cool. All right. And then Demetra at from Harvest Homes. So that's Harvest Homes. Awesome. And you can follow Demetra at, well, let me make sure. I think my screen is cut off. I want to make sure. Yeah, Demetra. And that is at G Harvest Homes. Okay, you can follow Demetra at G Harvest Homes. All one word. Okay, and if you guys have a hard time, I can copy and paste G Harvest Homes. Do that. So Daniel, I am so sorry. DiGiacomo. That's it. I knew Trevor does it so well. He says it so fast. I remember when Daniel was up hanging with us up at Carrot Camp. Trevor would say it so fast, so smooth. I said, dude, how does he do that? But DiGiacomo, that's it. Daniel DiGiacomo, but it's spelled Digiacomo. So guys, if there's anyone that you're missing, I can just copy and paste their IG handle. Let me know. So you guys make sure you guys are connecting, please. Connect with each other. Okay. And also I do have an agenda. Always give Carrot love. Okay. So James is on the call. Awesome. Rob is on the call as well. He is also there as We Buy Homes Fast. Dude, how did you pick that name up? That's sweet. But he's on IG as We Buy Homes Fast, all one word. And then on his personal IG is Rob, ROB _, and the last name is spelled LAROVERE. Okay, L as in Larry, AROVERE. Okay, so make sure you guys are and he's with Sage Hawk Home Buyers. Sweet. So awesome, you guys are connecting. So BJ, I can see you, man. However you say that last chat that you did is how you do it. So you're going to use that same box. Okay, so I'm reading your chat. Says, where is the chat box? So I can see others chatting or asking questions. So actually, all right, so you're not able to see everybody else's chat box. Okay, so BJ, so you will not see other people's chat. I only can see it, but you are in the right place. And if you want to ask questions or some information, just do it the same way that you sent through that question. So cool. All right. Nathan Davis, awesome to have you on the call. And also his IG is No Days Off Davis. I like that. It's all one word. No Days Off Davis. So NODAYSOFF Davis, DAVIS. So cool. All right. And his company is Impressive PROP. So Pro Prop. So Impressive Pro Prop, all one word. All right. Colin from Houston on the house. So cool. All right. So awesome, guys. I don't want to spend too much time. I want to value you guys' time. So sorry about that. Kind of got off guard there. So and then mine, guys, of course, is just look up the Adrian Nez, the THE _ Adrian _ Nez, NEZ. So make sure you guys are connecting with me there. And hopefully we are already, but if not, cool. So, so again, what is offline marketing and how does that going to tie into your website? So one of the biggest mindset change that I want people to have is don't look at your website just as a lead generation website, okay, or a system, which it is. Okay, so I know many of you, if not all of you, join Carrot because you want to generate more leads. Okay, so but what happens is that when you're not generating leads, a lot of times it gets discouraging. A lot of times people think it's a failure, but really, you'll be amazed how many people are engaging with you simply because you have a website. Okay, when I was when I was in Atlanta for the 2 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks that we were there because of Hurricane Florence, I had 2 people reach out to me through Instagram asking me how they can get set up with Carrot quickly, right? And so, of course, I gave them information on how to sign up with Carrot, and I love digging in. I like asking questions. So I asked them, why the urgency? Because I just knew there's an urgency there. Because, well, I was cold calling this lady, and it's a potential deal. And before I hung up the call, she threw at me, hey, what's your website? And it stumped him because he just really never thought about it. And I don't think many of us do. He never really thought the fact that people actually will, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of people will justify them dealing with you because they trust you. That justification usually comes through some type of physical or something tangible that they can see. So like when you're talking to someone face to face, usually that transaction is a business card, right? It's funny how you can hand someone a business card and right there they just deem you more credible or more professional or legit. Let's just put it that way. Okay. So in the digital world, when you're not talking to someone in person, when you're, a lot of times the one thing that is powerful or can be powerful is the fact that you have a website. Okay. So if many of you are doing offline marketing, like in this case, this gentleman, he was doing cold calling. Everything was going well. Everything, he really thought he had it locked in until at the very last minute, or the last moment of the call, the lady wanted to know what's his website, and he didn't have one, right? So not he didn't follow up with me. I asked him to, but I'm not sure what happened. But let's say that that was a potential deal. Let's say he was going to net 20 grand, but that person will not move forward with him because he didn't have a website. Okay, so so not having that credibility, guys, can cost you money. All right, so that's one of the things I really want to bring awareness to, is, again, not just on the lead generation. We all know about the lead generation side of it. You know, we talk about PPC, we talk about SEO, we talk about you know, Facebook marketing, you know, Craigslist, you know, you name it, but we don't really focus on what I refer to as the low-hanging fruits. You know, what is it that I can do right now that my website can help me close more deals? Not do more deals, but close more deals. Because you'd be amazed how many times that someone balked at taking that next step with you because they didn't find you legit. That's why, guys, we emphasize so much why you want to do the inside the carrot guide is what I'm trying to get to. Sorry, I got distracted here. So in the carrot guide, we always direct our newbies to phase 1. Phase 1 is so vital, guys. So vital. I mean, hopefully you guys don't look at just a bunch of tasks that we told you to do just to keep you guys busy, right? No, phase 1 is so important because phase 1 can literally 10x your credibility. Now, obviously, you guys are more, if you guys launch your Investor Carrot website and did nothing with it, it's still going to perform above average. Okay, so that's kind of the secret sauce of Carrot, is that the framework, just the layout, just the functionality of it, the easy usability of the site when it comes to everyday people. So your site is going to perform above average than someone who doesn't know about marketing, doesn't know about psychology, doesn't know about the behavior of someone when they land on the site. But if you really want to go kind of that next level of credibility, phase 1 of the Carrot Guide is a must, guys. Even in my own business, I hear it all the time. I went with you because I noticed you're a local company. Okay, I just liked that you were transparent, right? Which a lot of times, which means they went to my company page and they saw my picture and they read what I had to say, and what I said was something that was more focused on them, not me, right? I put a Facebook on Facebook. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I put a statement about how, you know, the times that I grew in my business wasn't when I was leveraging people. It was when I was serving people. Okay, so when you come across as you serving them and not that you have and your agenda is not to profit off of them. And don't get me wrong, guys, we're in business to make profit. Okay, but when we look at sellers as human beings, when we look at sellers as people, because that's someone's mom, that's someone's dad, that's someone's sister, that's someone's brother, unless we look at them in that way and not just a motivated seller, we'll never serve them. Okay, so I really feel like when you dig into your website, especially when we talk about personalization, that's what I'm talking about, right? Writing up content that shows that you really care, that you're really there to help, and not be so focused on SEO, not be so focused on keywords. Now, those things do play a big role, so I'm not taking that away, not saying that's important. It's very, very vital, guys, that you carry a mantle of a servant. Okay, so if you guys can nail that, you guys are going to be ahead of the game. Okay, so how does that circle into what we're talking about today? So when you drive people to your website, so let's say that gentleman was able to say, oh yeah, okay, yeah, here's my website, and that person went there, they can see his core values, they can see his intent, which is that he's actually there to help, right? And then they're able to see who he is, right? People want to know that you're a real person. You know, me personally, when I go to a website, maybe it's because it's something that we talk a lot about, but naturally, when I go to a website, I like to know who I'm dealing with. I kind of want to see some faces, right? So it's just human nature that If we expect someone to trust us, the first step is that they gotta first know who we are. They gotta see who we are. Okay, so very important, guys. If you want to be effective with credibility, which is what we're talking about when tying in your online with your offline, this stuff has to be in place. Okay, and I know a lot of people get stuck on this. Well, I know you guys tell us that your website works, so I'm afraid to touch it. So we're not talking about that. Okay, I know a lot of times people misunderstand what we say when we say this works, don't reinvent the wheel. It doesn't mean that you don't touch the website. It just means the overall functionality of the website is what you don't want to go down a rabbit's hole with, because we got it figured out for you. What we're talking about is just more the visual, right? It's tapping into someone's emotion, which is again psychology and marketing. So if you guys have not dug in, or maybe you just did bits and pieces of what we talk about, it's probably a good time to come back in here and just make sure that you have everything covered, that everything that we suggest to you, you have done. Okay. So, and of course, as you guys need help, you need help changing something, reach out to our support. Our support's awesome. First class. Okay. They're there to help. They're there every day. So there's no excuse why you guys shouldn't be getting this stuff done, because when you need the help, it's there for you. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. So anyways, so this is really what I feel is so important. This is your starting point. Okay. So anyways, so it's very important that you begin to kind of tie those things together, because as people take that next step with you, that could be the one deal. Okay. I've been telling people, it's amazing how many people have closed deals because of the website, but they didn't generate the lead from the website. Okay. They're closing deals because of the website, not because they got the lead, and they didn't get the lead from the website. So that shows you the power of credibility and trust. Okay. So that's what your website can do for you. So, so a couple things I think, again, I know a lot of you, if you're starting out, we tend to go with what we refer to as guerrilla marketing. So you might be distributing business cards, coming out with flyers, just a lot of people do different stuff. So do not be afraid. Do not be afraid, or don't hesitate. It's probably the better word to put your website on your mailers or your offline stuff. One thing I should have said is, so actually, let me do this. I'm kind of beginning to ramble a lot here. So let's do this. How many of you on this call is doing offline marketing? And if you are doing offline marketing, tell me what that is. And then also, if you have no idea how you can tie into what you're doing now to your website, tell me that, and I can give you some ideas. So send that through chat or here on the call, and we can do that. So, but in the meantime, would love to know, what are you guys doing offline and what you're doing. So also, awesome, BJ. Cool. It looks like you got it. And BJ's IG handle. BJ, are you following me on Instagram? Man, I don't think I've seen you on there, dude. So you better make sure you're following me. But it's BJ Ward online. BJ Ward online. So BJWARD, and then the word online, all one word. BJ is a stud, man. He's a full-time investor, wholesaler out in my area, but this guy has Dave Ramsey's system down when it comes to finances. Okay, sorry, BJ. Hopefully, I'm not putting you on the spot. Hopefully, but if you guys are looking for some tips, anything like that, man, he's your guy. And I'm sure you can share with him something of value as well. So I just want to throw that out there. So Travis, cool. Daniel, we're doing billboards around Baltimore, so would love to see how that's working for you. Cool. So here's a tidbit I was going to tell you that I did not put on the slide. One thing I will recommend is that if you guys are going to do offline marketing, and you guys are putting on printed marketing like billboards, even bus signs or postcards, one advice is you got make the domain very short. Make the domain very short. So if you guys have a very long domain, which doesn't usually make a huge difference when you're doing PPC or SEO because it's easier for just people to click it. But remember, if someone is offline, they're gonna have to type in your website. And let's just think of this scenario. I always think worst scenario. Okay, what's the worst situation that someone could be in to look up your website? And for me, that's on a mobile phone, and which is probably going to be the majority of people. Okay, for me, like I can easily jump on someone's website on my laptop. Okay, but I don't always have my laptop. Okay, but the one thing I do have my website on is is um is my phone, right? So cool. So that's what you want to do is make sure you know what, let's do this. I'll give it and finish my thought. So what I was saying was what you want to do is make sure that if everybody get out your cell phone. Okay. Get out your cell phone. Get out your cell phone and go over here to your browser. And let's say that you had okay, so my website, let's just say, is super long, right? Because when I set up my domain, I wasn't thinking about offline marketing. I wasn't thinking, that I just chose something that was really cool, and let's just say it happened to be long. So if you guys grab your cell phone and get a browser, you see how much of a pain it would be for you to have to type out a real long one. So let's say that you saw one of Daniel's signs, right? He does billboards, and Daniel put, Baltimore, Maryland, cash home buyers .com, right? Man, that's a long one. So is it doable that a customer will put that in? Yeah, but here's the thing: you got to make it easier for them, guys. You cannot make someone work when it comes to them connecting with you. Okay, that's why for years vanity phone numbers and all that vanity stuff has been gold, because it's easy for people to remember. Okay, so so here's a good example. So here, guys, so here's my website, right? So my website is my North Carolina one it's a real long one, getcashforofferNC.com. That's probably not the best because there's so many letters. I mean, it's just a lot of different characters, right? So what I did was, so guys, I'm jumping into the offline marketing stuff, right? Because here's the thing, guys, I'm a tester, man. What I teach, I don't do out of theory. I mean, I get my feet wet, I get my hands dirty. Like, I'm there with you guys in the grind, man. So I'm never going to teach something that doesn't work. So sometimes I got to go out and do it myself, right? So here's the thing. So knowing that my website is way too long, in my opinion, for my let's use a different one. A different one for okay. Sorry, I'm getting too excited, guys. Let me kind of take a deep breath. So what I was gonna say was, I just realized, in my opinion, my current domain is way too long to put on printed material. So in this case, when I find a property with Deal Machine, I'm sending them out a postcard. So I'm testing that right now. So I am putting on my my website on my postcard, but my thought process was it has to be super easy. Okay. So what I'm going to do, so what I did, guys, I got a domain that's very short, easy to remember. So remember, my domain is getcashforofferNC.com, and it's a long one, right? So here's my, all right, hopefully you guys can see this. All right. All right. So you see how this is a domain that I picked up from GoDaddy. And all that's going to do is, so if someone types that in, nceasysale.com, and please, guys, don't use it because I'm tracking this. Huge favor, guys, don't use this. But all it's going to simply do is forward. That's forwarded to my current website. So go out and get an easy to remember domain, guys, if you're going to use your website on printed material. And all you do is simply forward that domain to your regular domain. Okay, if you have a long one. Okay, so I mean, this could be as easy as, you know, dansoffer.com, right? So instead of Daniel, it could be dansoffer.com, or something simple and easy. Because remember, worst scenario is that someone is going to um, use their telephone, their mobile or their smartphone to look up your website, and you want to make it very easy for them. Okay, so that's kind of rule number one: is get a domain that you can forward to your current domain. Okay, so if you feel like it's going to be super easy to remember and super easy for someone to put into their cell phone. Okay, so I try to stay away from numbers on domains because, again, if you go to your browser and you look at your phone, I'm using an iPhone. Remember, I have to take one extra step to click on my number characters, and that's just one extra step. So every little extra step that someone has to take, you're just making it that much harder. So that's why I use all letters. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense when I said, if someone were to have to type in their information, on my iPhone, the initial keyboard has all the characters, but if they wanted to write numbers, they got to click on the keyboard character number sign, and then they put in all the numbers. Okay, so that's just too much work. Okay, does that make sense, guys? Give me some feedback. Super easy, Lena. All I did was go into GoDaddy, and inside their DNS settings, you just forward that to your current domain. Okay, super easy, super easy. And if you guys are using GoDaddy or anybody else, they can help you with it. Just say, hey, I want this forwarded to this website, and they can help you do that. Okay, so BJ, how's the deal? I just got started on that, BJ. I'm definitely gonna. Another reason why to follow me on Instagram. I've been sharing a lot of that. So the guys, that's why. I mean, that's the thing too, guys. One thing I will say is, I know for a lot of years, and some of you may have never heard this because you're coming into the business, but for many years, in the marketing for using direct mail, it was always taught never to use a website. Okay, because the reason behind that was you didn't want to distract. You didn't want to give too many call to actions to people, right? And the call to action on the postcard obviously is going to be the call. Okay, so I agree with that. Okay, I agree with that. You don't want to distract. You want to make it simple. That's why on a website, that's why I'm not really a big fan of putting your plastering your email, your phone number, a chat box, because sometimes you can give people too many options and it confuses them. Okay, so that's why on the website, I just keep it simple by fill out the form or call us. That's it. You make it very simple for someone to make that decision. Okay, again, back to psychology. Thanks, BJ. Shoot, lost my train of thought. I was talking about not putting your website on your mailer. So you guys are going to hear that. Okay, but here's the thing. Times have changed from 5 years ago to now. These days, because the internet is so easy for people to get, because everyone basically has access to the internet if you carry a phone. Okay, people are smarter. People want more transparency, like never before, and there's more competition, right? So so there's a reason why this is probably a smarter technique than maybe 5 years ago. Now, could they be distracted? But if you notice here, one thing I like about what I did is I'm not telling people my call to action is call or text me, right? I'm not telling them to go to the website. So I'm not distracting from people calling me. I'm just putting it there because you know what I want happening? I want curiosity to kick in. That's our number one trait as human beings is we're curious. Like, why do you think that when we're driving down the road, even though we know better, why is it that when we drive down the road and there's an accident, we want to slow down and look, right? we're just curious. We're nosy, right? We're all, I mean, I think we all have caught ourselves doing that. Like we just kind of want to know. Like even though we hate gossip, we kind of want to know. I mean, if you are honest with yourself, like even though, like even me, I hate gossip, I hate drama, but you know what? A little bit part of me likes to kind of know what's going on. Like, hey, who's steering this trouble? Who's causing this, right? So we're all nosy. So that's the psychology behind postcard is I personally will make sure that my call to action is for them to call me or text me. But I just put my website there just in case if this person like, hey, is this a legit company? I want them to go to my website. My objective is not for them to fill out the form. I'm not going to be bummed out if they don't fill out the form. My win is that they just went to my website and they see that I'm a legit company, that I'm a local company. Because remember what we talked about: credibility, personalization, all that good stuff. I want to have confidence, like, okay, this seems like a legit company. Because here's the thing, guys. I think as investors, as wholesalers, I think we forget that not everyone's going to trust us. Actually, I think 9 out of 10 people are not going to trust us initially because we're making a very big promise. You know, the transaction that we're promising is not normal. Like most people, when they look at selling real estate or when they have to sell or when someone needs to sell a property, they either list it or they sell it themselves. Right. So, and they know it's a process. Right. But then when an investor comes along and says, hey, we can buy your house as is, we can, there's no fees. Well, you know, all these cool things, most people are more skeptical than jumping up for joy saying, hey, my savior has come. Right. More people are going to be skeptical. That's why I'm sure most of you, maybe many of you, if you're talking to sellers often, you're going to hear it. You're going to hear people saying, hey, is this a scam? Hey, what's the catch? Right? So you're hearing that. And that's just because it's not that they don't trust us. It's just that we're making a big promise, right? This is good. This is too good to be true. I've heard that many times. Okay. So that's the reason why it's good to give people a point of contact, something they can see. Okay. And which is what a website can do for you instantly. You know, so many years ago it was a business card. Now it's a website. Okay, so you understand the concept behind marketing when we say on the psychology side. That's why I told you guys at the beginning of this call. My goal is not just to tell you, hey, put your company page here, put a picture up, do all this. It's not about just us telling you guys what to do, but also it's having you guys become better marketers. My goal is that if you guys make tens and thousands of dollars, it's not because of investor care, which I want it to be, but it's because we taught you how to be a better marketer. Because as you learn how to market, no matter what you do, whether it's bandit signs, whether it's postcards, cold calling, you'll crush it every time. Okay, so that's why take your focus off of what other people are doing and focus on what makes you different. Right. Again, on Instagram, I think actually it was just today on Instagram. My most recent post was I talk about stop comparing yourself to the competition. Learn how to differentiate yourself. Right. Have your own message. Right. Share your core values. Really show the transparency that, hey, I'm here to help you solve your problem. You know, I'm not here to BS you. Those are the content you guys should be sharing. Okay, so does that make sense, guys? Does that help? Does that fire you up? Let me know. Let me know this is helping. All right, cool. All right. James Barnes. So he is at all right, cool. Yeah, so this call is not really about I don't want to make this call about Deal Machine. I just wanted to show you guys my my postcard and how I have the website and how you should use a shorter domain, okay, for any printed stuff. So I don't want to make this too much. If you guys want to connect with me later, feel free, or connect with me through IG, however. But I want to kind of keep this about about the call. So sweet. So all right. Let's see here. Let me see. Any questions, by the way? Any questions? I know I threw a lot at you. But hopefully it was helpful. Hopefully it was a nugget. If so, let me know. And if you have questions with that, send them through now. So let me just kind of go through, make sure that I didn't miss anything, because I like to cover questions before I move on. Okay. Yeah, so guys, you don't want to be using the URL that Carrot gives you. Okay. Um, Anytime you launch a new website with Carrot, it will always default to the Carrot URL. Okay, but that's not meant to be your URL. You guys should be out getting a domain name for that. Okay. So yeah, you guys should not be keeping the Carrot URL. So anytime you launch a site, it will default to that, but with the understanding that you guys get your own domain. Okay, so but cool. All right. Awesome, Colin. Great tip, Adrian. So I'm assuming that's from the domain. Um, yep, Daniel hit it on the head. Billboard success is all about credibility. You need a face on the billboard. People need to see people. So it comes down to the principle, and 100% Daniel. So it comes down to the principle, guys. People want to do business with people they like. Okay. A lot of times we want to spatter out what we know. Okay. Hey, we can do this. We'll do that. Right. So again, there's nothing wrong with communicating what your service is or what your product is. But if that's your marketing strategy, you're not going to be very effective. Okay. So people want to deal with who they trust and like. Okay. So part of that is you got to be approachable, and you got to be relatable. And that's why it's so important, guys, that again, going back to phase one of the Carrot Guide, that's how all that stuff is tied in. Credibility, right? Credibility is all about giving confidence that it's not about what you do, but psychology wise, you know how that's tied into psychology and people's emotions is that you want to have people want to deal with people that they trust is going to follow through with what they say they're going to do. So if you're telling people, hey, we can close in 7 days, you should have people trust that you're going to do that. It's not necessarily that you can close in 7 days, is that you're going to follow through. Okay, so that's one of the things that I personally do when I go on an appointment, and they just tell me right off the bat, like they just tell me immediately, oh, like I got a bigger offer than that. So when someone throws that in my face, and then usually my response is, well, just because someone offers a higher amount doesn't always mean they're going to follow through, right? So I just kind of, it's probably not. I don't always do that. I kind of have to feel it out, but a lot of times I'll do that. So I'm planting that seed of doubt, right? So again, back to psychology, is that people just want they just want to have the confidence that you're going to follow through. That's why I think a lot of times you hear about other investors closing deals and they weren't even the highest bidder, right? It's because they built that rapport, they built that trust. Okay, and a lot of that takes listening and just being transparent to people, and and just being personable. You know, and again, that's all you want to transfer all that onto the website. Now, it doesn't mean that you guys go down the rabbit's hole, that you guys have to transform the whole website. I'm just saying that your website should have bits and pieces of that. Okay. So, all right. All right. Any questions? Any questions on what I'm talking about? I'm getting a lot of questions on Deal Machine. I mean, you guys will have to reach out to me after that, because this call is not about Deal Machine. But if you guys follow me Instagram, you guys can. I mean, I'm going to be sharing a lot on that because I'm testing that right now, and we'll see if it works. Oh, BJ. Let me see. Let me find. Let's see. I'll send that through. So BJ, his name is the IG handle is BJ Online. BJ Online. I'm gonna send that through. Cool. All right. Travis, cold calling for rent and Fizzbo. So Travis, let me ask you this: are you cold calling yourself? Do you have a team that's doing it, or are you doing that? And would love to know. I mean, are you, as you're talking to people, are you finding a way to insert your website as you're talking to them? Would love kind of your feedback on that. So cold calling. So um, I always tell people, like, when you're cold calling people, when you begin to feel that little amount of resistance or discomfort, I think a lot of times we can kind of know when someone's just being super guarded. Man, that's when I would pull out the website. Hey, ma'am, sir, totally understand you might be skeptical. Just like be open and honest with them. Like, a lot of times I think we don't want to say the wrong thing or want to offend people, but if you're going to lose them, you're going to lose them. But to me, I would just say, hey, sir, ma'am, I totally understand that I'm just some random guy calling you. But I tell you what, why don't you? Here's my website address. I mean, if you have a computer nearby, or you want to pull out a laptop. Hey, here's my website. You'll actually mug, kind of break the ice. Because I know me personally, I love dealing with, I love knowing who I'm talking to. So if you check out my website, you'll see who I am. Okay, so and actually, we make it. I make it super easy. So if you feel like you want to just kind of take your time and check me out, yeah, you can actually submit your information there as well. Or we can continue this conversation, right? So sometimes you just gotta just kind of just be open and honest that way. Okay, so don't be afraid to do that. Um, cool. Um, Nathan, so driving, cold calling, and driving for dollars. So I'm just kind of curious, Nathan, is that just the same way I asked Travis? Like, are you finding yourself in situations to where people are like just more suspicious? Because again, guys, cold calling, like this person was not expecting you to call, right? So I think somewhere in that conversation, I think we all have opportunity, but at the same time, this is just me. I personally wouldn't. If there was no need to pull out the website, then I wouldn't, right? I mean, again, it's just there to back you up. So I think a lot of times, if you have a good flow going, this person's talking to you, you want to keep that going. So no need to pull out the website, right? So again, I want to say that too, is because I know a few times, last week, same thing. I just started talking to this guy and didn't mention the website one time, but we built great rapport and you know, um, set up an appointment. So it's just one of those things you just kind of have to just choose your, watch, kind of use your best judgment. Sweet. Du-du-du. What are the bare bones for the website without having a large budget? So not sure I quite understand what your question is. You talking about marketing or? So here's the thing, James. I mean, if anything, this does not. Phase one is, all right. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Gonna put you on the spot. Let's see here. Where you at? All right, James. Send through your website. I'm not sure if you're talking about marketing or just a website visuals. What we're talking about, really, give me more clarity what you mean by bare bones for the website without having a large budget. All right. So then, also in the meantime, send through your website. All right. Sweet. All right. Any questions? While we're waiting for, all right, cool. Actually, you just sent it through. All right. And clarify your question too about the bare bones without having a large budget. I'm not sure if you mean marketing wise or. All right. So cool. Okay. It looks like you have the advanced marketers. So let me ask you this. I mean, I guess we can kind of transition, guys. Let me just make sure there wasn't anything. A lot of this was, let me see if I covered everything. I may have covered a lot without getting too much into the slides, which is awesome. Our team members are awesome. All right, cool. Yep, a lot of this stuff I covered. So, all right, just want to make sure I didn't forget anything. All right, so let's go back to the website. So, a couple questions I have for you. Oh, let's see here. All right, no budget for PPC yet. Okay, cool. So then we're not going to do PPC. If that's because you have zero money for budget for PPC, then yeah, obviously you can't do PPC. But I'm going to challenge you guys too, man. James, and really everybody. Okay, I don't want to just be calling out one person, but guys, if you guys don't have the budget, find a way to come up with the budget. I think sometimes we're too easy. We kind of let ourselves off. We let ourselves off the hook. I remember when I first got into wholesaling years ago, and I didn't really have much money. Budget was low, but you know what I did? I decided to cut out cable. I decided to we decided not to eat out for 6 months, right? So we found ways to come up with extra, even if it was an extra $100 a month, right? I wasn't trying to free up $1,000 or whatever, but the reality, guys, is that you need some type of budget to make this business work. Okay. I think if you guys can come up with your monthly subscription with Carrot, you guys can come up with with more. Okay. So you gotta put your back against a wall and figure it out. I'm going to challenge you that because I want you guys to be successful. And it's amazing, guys, what happens when you force yourself to think, when you force yourself to dig in. Then just say, I have no budget. All right. So, I mean, if you guys have to get an Uber job just to come up with an extra $1,000, like, it's worth it. If you guys really want to make this business work, I encourage you guys, come up with the money somehow. Okay. Now, I'm not going to and BJ is probably going to kill me for saying this, but if you got to put on the credit card, put on the credit card. Like, if you believe in your ability that much, find a way to come up with the money, whether it's a credit card, preferably not. I mean, again, that's totally your call. But if you want this to work, things are going to be so much easier for you when you have a budget. Okay. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not here to preach to you guys about it, but I think my reason is just to challenge you guys. So, like I said, for me, I cut out cable. We didn't eat out for, I think, like 6 months or so. And we just really put ourselves, so that free up money for me, not just to pay for my subscriptions and other tools, but also to put money into PPC. I did my own SEO. I put in the grunt work, right? Because marketing, you're going to either pay for it with your time or your money. Okay. So it depends on your resources. So, so let's kind of do a mini strategy call then. All right. So James, let me ask you this. So so obviously we've eliminated PPC. Are you doing any offline marketing right now? So, because here's the thing, guys, how we got to get the phone ring or get people to our website. Okay. So if PPC is out of the question, that's out of the question. So if now SEO is probably not going to generate leads for you for a few months. That's just the reality of it. I mean, and that's with you even stacking on efforts with SEO. Okay. So SEO is not going to produce leads for you in the next month or two. So now you got to ask yourself, okay, can I do Facebook marketing? Facebook marketing is a little bit cheaper than PPC, but you do have to reach a higher level of people before you convert. So you got to be patient with it. So now it kind of goes back to, do you have to revert over to hustle marketing, which I kind of, like cold calling, door knocking, driving for dollars, door hangers, right? So you got to, because this is a business, guys. I mean, it's very, very important that you invest into your business, and that investment obviously is going to come through marketing. So, so we'll include on postcards. So if you're doing postcards, yeah, definitely, and that's a cool thing, guys. I mean, even if you're putting all your money into postcards and you guys can't do PPC or anything online, that's okay. That's what this call is about, is that your website can really help you make the most of what you're spending on your postcards. It will enhance your PPC your postcard marketing. Because I always say, like, if I'm going to spend money on marketing, I want to make sure I capitalize on every opportunity for me to convert that lead. So if I'm doing postcards and you're giving them a website that they can go see who you are, but you better make sure that the stuff we talk about in phase 1 is all there, because you want to capitalize on that. It does no good if you're not jumping into phase 1 like we're suggesting, and then someone goes to your website, you had that opportunity, but because you didn't take the time to do phase one, you lost that lead. Okay. So that's how I kind of really look at the urgency of that. Like, if my lack of investment into what we're suggesting, if you're not making that investment, that could cost you a deal. You know, your postcard worked, you got that person to go to your website, but then you didn't capitalize on the other part of it and you lost a deal, right? So that's why I always tell people, if you guys are going to be paying for marketing or putting any effort into marketing, you want to be able to capitalize on that that opportunity. So so if you're doing postcards, yeah, definitely put your website on your postcards and get a short domain. Make it easy for them, right? Don't make them work to come to your website. So right now you're doing driving for dollars and RVMs, which I love, because that type of marketing can easily land you a deal quickly. Okay. So, and as you start doing deals, then you can invest into the PPC. You can invest into the SEO. Okay. So James, do you have the 3 lead per day training by chance? Do you know on top of your head? If you have the 3 lead training. To start with PPC, what numbers should we try to squeeze out to initially get going? PPC specifically. So that's a tough one. I mean, Nathan, if you're in the Houston market, man, I would say your market, dude, is just not the norm. It is what it is. I hate to say that. If you're on a tight budget, PPC is going to be very tough in your market, because the prime keywords, you're probably going to be paying anywhere from $50 to $80 a month just for one click. That's just per click. So if you are trying to get started in the Houston market, that's going to be very tough. I mean, you're probably going to be looking at least, I'm going to tell you, at least $2,000 or $3,000 a month. And even with $2,000 or $3,000 a month, you got to be dialed in, making sure the right keywords are in place, making sure your ads are good. We've done some coaching calls. I think it was call 135. If you want to go back and check that out, is how to be effective with a low budget. But Houston is just another level competition wise. So the competition has driven up the cost big time. So, but yeah, Houston is crazy. So, that's why I'm a big fan of virtual wholesaling, guys. If you guys, again, I think it's a mindset. So like, I think, first of all, I believe that there's deals in every market, how tough it is. How you extract those deals, a lot of it does depend on your effort, your budget, right? That's just, I just believe that 100%. But there's always deals to be done in your own backyard. But I also am not opposed to people going into other markets, right? Which is virtual wholesaling. Okay. So that's what I've done. I lived in West Virginia for 10 years. Close to 10 years, and West Virginia just did not have a market. I did a lot of wholesale deals to cash buyers, and cash buyers meaning just your everyday people that they made a lot of money. They just have bad credit and they just were looking for fixer-uppers. Okay. So, but that's why I went to Pittsburgh, went to Ohio, all that. So I just moved to North Carolina 2-3 years ago. I didn't know if this was going to be home for a while. We were just here on the test run, but 3 months ago, we decided this is home. That's why, guys, if you're following me on Instagram, I'm doing a lot of I'm doing Deal Machine now. I'm doing Driving for Dollars now, because before I couldn't. Okay, so I'm pivoting. So you can always pivot in different ways, both virtually or just hit different parts of town, right? So Houston, what I would do, Nathan, is if you're set on Houston, I wouldn't target Houston in whole. I would really dominate a small section of Houston, right? And then you can run PPC ads there. So the cool thing with PPC ads, you have a lot of control over it. Meaning, if you want to run ads just in one zip code, you can do that. Okay, so you're not wasting a lot of money. It might actually a little bit cheaper too, because you're not trying to go into the heart of Houston. Okay, so again, this is why strategy is so important, guys. Is that you can always pivot in different ways. You have options. Okay, so that's why I love you guys jumping on these strategy calls, because we can give you that insight. We can tell you, hey, this is what I would do, or hey, you want to pivot this way, right? So, but that's why it's so important, guys, to have a budget, because it just makes things a lot easier. And if you don't have a budget, honestly, man, I would not focus on SEO. I would just use your website as a credibility factor, which is what this call is about, because it can make all the difference of you closing a deal. Okay, even if it's driving for dollars or cold calling, it just enhances your marketing that much more because people will feel like you're legit. Okay, so but Nathan, yeah, check. Okay, I love that idea. Let me know what idea. I threw a lot at you, so let me know what you're gonna do, and I'd be more than happy to give you insight, man. I love doing stuff like this. Um, how do you build a reliable cash buyers list for virtual wholesaling? So really quick, really easy, guys. Use your cash buyer website. What I've done is I'll go into the most basic level is um, let your cash buyer site be a catalyst, okay, for virtual markets. All right. Now I know there's an argument that says, well, find the deal and your cash buyers will come, which is true, 100%. I agree with that 100%. But that's not quite as easy when you're in a virtual market. So if you guys really want to get an idea of the market in a different area, use your cash buyer site. Okay, launch a cash buyer site. And what I do is I know by default. Let's see. Let me pull up mine. No, we're kind of getting away from today's topic, but I'm getting a lot of questions regarding virtual stuff. So, any questions on today? I don't want to get away from what the call is about because that's not fair to people that are on this call just for that and don't care about virtual wholesaling. But before I kind of answer some stuff on virtual stuff, is there any other questions? Is there any other questions regarding what we talked about or what this call is about, which is the credibility and tying your offline marketing with your online marketing? Any questions there, guys, before I kind of make that transition? Because it looks like we're already an hour in, so I'm going to start slowly wrapping up this call. Yep, awesome. Yeah, Nathan. Yeah, I that's what I would do, man. I would like I'm doing that even here in Wilmington. My market's like 100K, but I'm beginning to like this very small section for rental markets for rentals. So what I'm going to do, man, I'm going to be an expert in that little section of Wilmington. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm just going to focus on that because obviously we're only 100K population, but I think we just have to be experts in some part of town. So, and to me, that's great practice. So what I'm going to do, that's why if you guys watch my Instagram the last couple of days, I was in this neighborhood and I was just getting every vacant property because like I'm a cash and flow guy. So I'm just not a virtual guy. Okay. So I can raise money if I needed to. So what I would do is if I can get 5 properties or 6 properties, shoot, like I'll buy in bulk and I'll have rental properties in that market. So if I so what I'm going to do is on Craigslist, I'm probably going to run some proactive ads that are going to say, hey, rental property coming up soon. Like reply if you have questions. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to have one of my girls ask questions. Hey, what's your rent budget? So I kind of get an idea what it is. I have an idea what the rent is, but I'm going to make sure that I'm dead on by doing some Craigslist ads for rentals. And then I'm just going to put it out there. Hey, looking for cash buyers for the, this blah, blah, blah market. Right. So, if I get no response, I am okay with it. At least I tried. Right. So, but again, guys, your cash buyer site can be a catalyst for your marketing. So what I would do, so what I did is if you guys want to go into virtual markets, first of all, usually the Carrot website will default with your local area, but I took all local mention out. So I made it more general. So I can use a site anywhere I want. So what I'll do is I'll go in Craigslist and I'll start, let's say I want to start going Kansas City. I'll start running ads in Kansas City on Craigslist. Hey, looking for cash buyers. And then I'll ask, one of the questions that is required they have to answer is what zip code they want to buy in. Okay. Because if someone is not willing to give me their zip code and they don't appreciate that I'm asking that, they're probably not a real cash buyer. Okay. But if people begin to answer that, now you have an idea. Then what I'll do is I'll start researching that market, right? I'll start researching that zip code. Okay, there's some tools that I use. One of them is Prop Stream, and sometimes it's just going into Zillow, right? Zillow, and just on that market. Okay, and then so your cash buyer site can be your data collector. Okay, so then if I get some cash buyers that are contacting me, I'll call them, say, hey, thank you so much for thank you for reaching out. Hey, can I ask you some questions? And then I'll just kind of get some feedback from them. Okay. So I know Daniel, guys, you guys need to follow Daniel on Instagram because dude's he's a king of cash buyers. We actually did a I forget, I think we did the market leaders with him. Or we did something with Daniel, but dude, he's a cash buyer king. Like, dude, he's just all over the place. So you guys reach out to him. And I hate to, but be respectful, guys. I know I don't want to bombard Daniel with a bunch of stuff, but I guess that's one of the advantages of you guys being on this call, because you guys, I'm not going to always do that on every call. So, so anyways, but you know, he's someone like me. That's why I want to connect with Daniel, because I'm going to help him with some stuff, and then, but he's going to bring value to me as well. Okay. That's why it goes back to networking is so vital, guys. But reach out to those that are responding to your website that did fill out the form. Reach out to them, get some feedback. Hey, why do you like that area? Right. So, and usually they'll give you that information, because cash buyers want deals. So it's just a lot of investigating, a lot of stuff like that. But I believe the best way to start is by, I mean, the cash buyer site is so easy to generate leads with, like super easy. Okay. So use Craigslist, start looking up in Facebook, groups. Let me see here. Let's see. All right. All right. So like Facebook, one thing I like to do again, because all right, cool. So one of the cool things, hey, look whose Facebook thing came up. Dude, are you like on the water right now? Dude, like, are you doing the carrot? Are you watching the carrot coaching call on the water right now, Daniel? This guy's a baller, man. But anyways, remember, Facebook is a search engine, guys. So if you guys are looking to get into Kansas City market, let's just say what I'm gonna do is go to Facebook and Kansas City real estate. I want to see what what Facebook. See how just by putting real estate, all these come up, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna join all these groups. All right. So I'm gonna look at these groups right here. Real estate investors, wholesales. I'm gonna join all these groups. Right. So now some of them may be a little bit more guarded. I'm okay with that. Right. So I'm just gonna put networking. Wholesaling, and just be honest, wholesaling and wholes. All right, so I'm going to do that. So I actually like the ones that are very guarded, because they tend to have the more quality groups when they guard it like that. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do you have yes, North Carolina, but looking into other markets. I'll just agree. Right. You see how a lot of times the more rules they have, the more quality that there is. So just kind of be respectful to that too, guys. Just don't go into groups and say, hey, look for cash buyers. Go into providing value, right? Join the conversations, right? So like in Pittsburgh has a really good one. Sometimes just by watching conversation, you can tell who are the like players in the market. So I love it. So like here, very active people, and I know legit cash buyers are in this group. Right? A lot of times people say, "Well, real cash buyers are not on Facebook." That's not true. I know legit cash buyers that are on Facebook. All right. So now, is every Facebook group going to have legit buyers? No, obviously not. But I'm just saying, don't count them out. Don't count that out. Right here, I have a cash buyer looking for houses. You know, so it's also, guys, don't be afraid to JV with people. Right. So if this person says, hey, I have a cash buyer looking for houses in Allegheny County, up to 55. Dude, like what I would do, I'm already in this market, by the way. So I would reach out to her. I'm going to add her as a friend. All right. So that's probably kind of premature, but I have some credibility in that market. So I'm okay with that. Um, so what I'll do is, if you want to PM me zip codes for Allegheny County is a big county. All right, so I'm just gonna do that. Right. So it's just kind of using common sense. Like I'm pretty established in this group. So, but at the same time, if you guys just join a new group, just make sure that, like add some value first. All right. But again, just start use Facebook as a search engine, right? Join all these different groups. Right. All right. I'm going to get out of there. All right. Does that make sense? Does that help, guys? So that was probably for some of you are in the Houston markets. Houston is tough. I don't want to sound like I have a limiting mindset or anything, but logically, if you have very little budget, I mean, and the reason why I even bring that up is because you guys have some perfect tools to be able to do that with the Carrot sites. I mean, that's why I love Carrot. That's why I've been able to build my businesses, because I've leveraged the internet, and Carrot's been the perfect tool for me on that. Okay, so a lot of work, a lot of learning stuff that I've had to go through, but it's doable. Cool. I've heard that 150 cash buyers is a good start before you start marketing for deals. I don't know. I mean, I've heard that 150 is a good start before you start marketing for deals. I don't know, man. To me, I don't. That's the first time I've heard that, to be honest with you. But me personally, I just have this fixed mindset about, all right, I need to find cash buyers. If I find six, I have six to work with. I want to see out. I want to see out of the six who's the legit ones, because you're not always going to have cash buyers who are legit. I mean, you might have people, because wholesalers are taught, hey, go to people's websites who are on page one and tell them you're a cash buyer, all that stuff, right? So there's a lot of things being taught too on that. So you're gonna always have that pool of people. But so if I get 50 people, I want to out of that 50, I want to find my dozen true cash buyers. Those are the ones I want to be calling. Those are the ones that I want to be emailing. Those are the ones I want to be asking. Hey, be more specific. What are you guys looking for? Where do you want to look for? Right? I mean, all that type of stuff. So, yeah, I never heard that before about having 150 cash buyers before you start marketing. I don't know. I think, like, at the same time, I do believe, as much as I say use your cash buyer to be a catalyst, and I use that context because we're talking about virtual stuff. But in my local market, like, I'm always like, I don't have a cash buyer in mind. I mean, I'm just going to look out for deals, and I do believe that, when you do have a good deal, that you'll find your cash buyers, locally, right? Or if it's just too good of a deal, but no one's biting, like, I'll take it down. I'll pick it up. Okay, so cool. All right. Since I have the offline now, I want to focus on my Carrot site. So will I get into three and the part to get started? Yes, James. So I'm glad you circled back around. So what I'm going to suggest is, even though SEO is not going to be your immediate lead generation, but James, if you're going to be in this business, this is it. You're going to be here a year from now. Yes, start on the SEO. Okay, because you want to be chipping away at it. You want to be working on that. You want to be making sure that you're progressing, because you'll be amazed how a year will fly by, and at least you'll be progressing. So a year from now, you might be on page one, and you're going to be saying, you know what, Adrian, I'm so glad you pushed me to do that. So it's more of a long-term strategy. So I tell people, like, if this is it, yes, you should. Everyone who's in this business for long-term should be doing SEO. Okay, it's going to pay off. You're going to thank me later. Okay, but if you guys are here because, hey, you know what? I'm giving myself 3 months or 2 months or 1 month to make this work, or else I'm out. Then I tell people, don't focus on SEO. Get the driving for dollars, cold call. Do the hustle stuff. Like, you're gonna have to do the hustle grunt work. Because I know SEO, PPC all sounds really cool and sexy, but it's a process still, right? And PPC, obviously, you need a budget. And also you got to be good at it too. I mean, you don't have to be great at it, but you got to be decent. You just can't just launch your PPC and just hope it works. There's a lot. I mean, if you're very analytical, PPC is awesome. But if you're not impatient, you're not a patient person, you probably shouldn't be doing PPC as well, right? So cool. Yep. Also, yeah, if you guys decide to go down, um, oh, great value to add to the group. Rob said, Google AdWords has a credit for $100 or 150 for new members to PPC. So yeah, I mean, the best place to start, guys, if you're using your domain carrier is, reach out to them and ask them if they have any coupons. Usually that's the best place. I know GoDaddy's always giving them out. I just can't use it anymore because I've already been doing PPC. So if you're brand new to PPC, look for those coupons with your domain carrier. Okay. And that can really help as well. And then also watch coaching call 135, how to be effective with a small budget. And that call, I went in details on how to be very, very targeted. Okay. The reason why you'll hear a lot of people say PPC don't work or it's too expensive is because most people will just throw stuff on the wall and just see what sticks. Okay. So don't be careful who you guys listen to when they say this doesn't work or I've tried that. You'll be amazed how many people just didn't do it right. And that's their perspective on it because it didn't work. And for the most part, it's because they just didn't do it right. Okay. So cool. All right. Are we good? The questions have kind of died down. So any other questions, or else if not, we're just gonna bounce. We're almost an hour and a half, which is good. I think you guys got some good value. Hopefully I changed some mindset. I hope I help you guys look at your website a little bit different, not just lead generation. And also gave you some ideas on what you should be doing if you are going to implement your website on printed marketing material, with the short domain, and the reason behind that. If you're in a tough market, don't consider virtual wholesaling. I mean, that's the cool thing with the seller site is you can target any city without launching a new website. Just add on the page. Okay, so I just love Carrot for virtual wholesaling because it's doable both with your cash buyer site and your seller site. Cool. All right. Yeah. Awesome. Rob, do you know when the week for? I believe Rob, it is going to be next week. Yeah. Trevor was out of town for a few events this past week, so that got pushed back. But you guys should be hearing something about that. So yeah, good question. So if you guys are waiting for week 4, that's been pushed back to next week. So I apologize if that's the first time you guys are hearing that. So yeah, so just look out for that, guys. Sweet, Colin. So yeah, Colin, Instagram, dude, you're on there. Let's just would love to share ideas. Since you're using Deal Machine, would love your feedback. I'm pretty committed to it, so I'm not one of those guys that will just kind of say it worked for 3 months, didn't work. I'm committed to it. So it's my starting point. I'm going to start doing a lot of skip tracing. This online guy is going offline, guys. So make sure you follow me. Let's test some things together. And I love the Carrot family. You guys are like family, so make sure let's follow each other. But yeah, Colin, make sure you follow me and send me a DM, dude. Let's make sure we're connected, and we'd love to kind of see how you're using. I know they have some integration with Zapier, all that stuff. So if you guys want to stick around, I'm done. I think we're done. But if you guys want to stick around and just kind of just ask, remember I've only used it for a week and for about 2 weeks, so I'll share whatever I can. But if you guys want to ask some questions about Deal Machine, I'll stick around. Awesome, Rob. Cool. I'll follow you back, Rob, if I'm not already. But yeah, thanks for the advice. As always, Adrian, sweet. Glad you got something out of this, Rob. So yeah, awesome that you're following me. Yeah, guys, make sure you guys are following me, and I'll make sure to follow you guys back. And also make sure you follow Trevor too. Trevor Mock. Trevor Mock. So send him some love, guys. Send him a message. Check out his posts. Tell him that you love the coaching calls. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, check out his page. Follow him as well. He has some great content as there too. Guy's wealth of knowledge. I'm just honored to be able to be in the same room with him, and so make sure that you guys are following him as well. So let's and give him some love. And also, if you guys use the carrot hashtag, there's 3 of them I really want to get going. Is carrot, which is hashtag carrot, then hashtag investor carrot, and then hashtag agent carrot. So if you guys can give us some love there, greatly appreciate it. Let me know your progress. Take some screenshots and mention me in it, or Trevor, and anything we can do. Let's get carrot on the map there. And obviously the main thing is I want to help you guys. So if you guys have questions, take a screenshot, tag me in, and I'll be more than happy to answer anything. Overall, whether it's just wholesaling in general. All right, cool. So John, I know it's not John. I got that email. Oh, I got that email, by the way. John, or I forget the other name. Kind of a do you find that the Deal Machine platform with the printed version versus? So we'll see about that. We'll see about that. I gotta dig in. I just went with their default. I went with their default postcards. So I'll have to dig in to see what other postcards they have. But right now, I just went with their default. Okay. So, which is, yeah. So I'm going to kind of test a few things. So like I said, I haven't done much, as you see here, just these properties so far, but I'm definitely going to ramp it up. But yeah, ask me next time, or maybe in a couple months, and I'd be more than happy to share if I see a difference. All right, cool. How do you compare the enhanced search phone number? So actually, most times, James, the numbers will not come up. The one that you saw, I actually did a skip trace. So the cool thing with this is that it'll give you the initial information. It'll give you the information, but so it'll have the address. But in order to gather the other information, then you're gonna have to skip trace it, right? So I think so. You have the option to skip trace it through Deal Machine. So that's an added thing. So I'm not sure if that was your question, or if that did answer your question. Yeah, so skip trace, the enhanced numbers come up because of the skip tracing, and that's an option. So so obviously I think Deal Machine's concept is when you pull up their information, is that you have the ability to send them and mail it out, because the default information it'll capture is the address, but then the phone number is not going to always be ready available. I would say 99% of the time. So they do give you the option to do a skip trace, which is like 1 credit. So I think you build up credits with them, and you can do the additional step of skip tracing for the phone number. How does that? I don't know. Dude, I'm green, man. I'm green when it comes to this offline stuff. So I have nothing to compare to be honest. But I'm gonna master it and run with it, figure it out. I'm gonna dig around, really dive into it because that's the way I became good at what I do with Carrot and online marketing years ago. So I'm gonna do the same thing. So yeah, fortunately, I can't really, I can't answer that. All right, so I'm just kind of closing out some questions, and that gives you guys a little bit of question on or time to answer any questions you have. So, all right. Yeah, so yeah, Dave is a great guy. I spent some time with him not long ago, and he said you have to average at least 200 properties, at least, and at least 3 times to get one. So is that 3 times, like 3 times meaning to contact the person? Is that what? Because you put 200 properties at least 3 times to get one deal. So 3 times meaning like three contact with that one person. Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's why I'm gonna skip trace and do cold calling. I have a carrot member that he's in my mastermind. He's awesome, man. He's a cold call machine. So he told me like, dude, don't. I mean, he's for mailing, but he said, man, I should be cold calling. He goes, skip trace. Basically, here's a device. He goes, any properties that you have, obviously it's vacant, so that's good. And then he said that check to see if their property is if they're behind on taxes, and then if they are, like, dude, he's like skip trace them, and then just call them. That was his point. Just call them instead of kind of depending relying that and relying on the mail, which makes sense. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check out the templates. I just kind of ran with it. Usually that's what I do. I always say I start ugly. I just take action ugly, then I refine. I don't want to be someone who just kind of like gets stuck. Hey, I want to use this template, or hey, should I use this one? Should I use that one? And then I never take action. So I kind of guard myself from that just by using the default and then fine tuning from there. So the idea is just for me just to get going. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. 3 times. Yeah, I think the default I put on there, yeah, to keep mailing to them, like recurring mailing. So cool. Awesome. Yep. All right. So those of you that are watching the recording, I just kind of stuck around to answer some questions about this tool I'm using. So if you have no interest, you can the call did end. So if you want to just log off, that's cool. Sorry about that. I forgot about the recording that I have going. So yeah. So if you guys are that's all you came on the call for and have no desire, so the call is done. All right. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being on this call. Again, just to recap quickly, phase one, if you guys have not jumped to phase one or fully utilized or taking action on what we suggest, phase one is vital on what we talked about when it comes to online marketing and offline working together as a team. All right. And then making sure that is first in place. One big tip I gave again was if you're going to put your domain name or your website address on printed material, make it as short as possible. So if your current domain is not short, just purchase another one that's easy, shorter, and then just set it up to where if anyone types that domain in, that it gets rerouted or gets forwarded to your current domain, which is your current Carrot website. So if you need help with any of the technical stuff, just reach out to us and we'd be more than happy to help you with that. So, all right, guys, awesome to have each and every one of you on this call. Appreciate you being here. Obviously, I don't take that lightly. So, until next week, appreciate each and every one of you. Let's all connect on Instagram. Connect with Trevor. Let's give him some love on his posts. Tell him how you're just thank him for this platform, because this platform can change your business, guys. So anyways, have a great afternoon, and we will see you next week.